Real Madrid 6 and Monaco 1. Yes, what a win! Not just any win, a beautiful one, a tactical masterpiece, a soul-healing performance. It had goals, it had passion, it had press, and most importantly, it had Real Madrid being Real Madrid. We saw a real team, a real plan, a real statement. So, my fellow Madridistas, let's break it all down. Tactics, surprises, and moments of pure football joy. ¡Vamos allá!
From the heart of Madrid, where passion meets purpose.
It was a legacy built by legends and a future written by rising stars.
Once again, Arbeloa went with a 4-3-3 formation. But hold on, it wasn't just copy-paste from last week. Oh no. Injuries, suspensions, tactical genius? The answer, all of the above. Center backs, no surprise. Asensio and Huijsen. Right back, Valverde. Yep, not his favorite role, he said it himself, but he keeps nailing it. Left back. Oh, the Arbeloa signature twist. You'd bet on Fran Garcia, right? A natural LB. Makes sense. But no, he went with Camavinga, a midfielder turned fullback turned Swiss Army knife. And guess what? He did the job. In midfield, we had our lone pivot Tchouaméni, with Bellingham and Güler ahead of them. And up top, Mastantuano stepped in for Gonzalo Garcia alongside the familiar troublemakers, Vinicius and Mbappé.
Tactically, this was a different Madrid. Oh yes, from the standard 4-3-3, we turned into a 2-1-4-3 when attacking and pressing. And not just any pressing. Forget the line-by-line style from the Alonso era. Arbeloa's squad pressed by zones, whole blocks of players shifting together, cutting off every Monaco exit like a pack of hunting wolves. It wasn't constant pressure for 15 minutes straight, it was bursts, 4-5 minutes of chaos, then cool off, then back again. Possession? Who cares? We didn't dominate the ball, we dominated the danger. When we had it, we looked lethal. In defense, Tchouaméni dropped deep, forming a back five. Mastantuano dropped two, helping Bellingham and Güler keep the middle locked. Vinicius and Mbappé stayed up, but Vinicius often helped defend, and surprisingly, even Mbappé tracked back. Depending on the moment, it looked like a 5-3-1-1 or even a 5-2-2-1. And in build-up, oh, it was slick. Valverde and Camavinga stayed wide. Tchouaméni slotted in with the centre-backs to break Monaco's first press. Once it moved to midfield, Güler and Bellingham took over, running, passing, hurting Monaco. The structure, a nice and clean 2-3-2-3. So why did Arbeloa go with this group? Let's be honest, Monaco are not a defensive low-block team. They don't park the bus. They actually try to play, try to possess, try to attack. But their attack isn't elite, and their midfield, neither super technical nor super physical. So Arbeloa said no need to muscle them out. One pivot, Tchouaméni, could hold that role alone. Then there's Bellingham, the half-king, half-knight. He gives everything: offense, defense, heart, leadership. You simply can't bench him if he's fit. And then, the magician, Arda Güler. Arbeloa clearly wanted him on the pitch. But if you want Güler to work his magic, you need someone ahead of him pulling defenders away, opening spaces. That's where Mastantuano comes in. A better fit than Gonzalo Garcia in this case, especially with Rodrigo still out. As for Camavinga at LB, look, I've got theories, but no solid answer. Maybe Arbeloa wanted his defensive reliability. Maybe he wanted him to support the pivot in build-up. Maybe he just loves chaos. Whatever the reason, it worked.
Now let's talk action. Real Madrid didn't just play well, they looked like themselves again. The kings of Europe, the kings of chaos, the kings of goals. And it started early. 5th minute, boom, goal. Valverde and Mastantuano linked up on the right, a couple of quick passes, ball to Mbappé. You know what comes next? Mbappé does Mbappé things. And guess what? The right side kept dominating. Strange, right? Madrid's always been a lefty team, Vinicius territory, but in this first half, it was the right wing running the show. Mastantuono's sweet left foot gave Monaco defenders nightmares. He dragged defenders out of position, opened lanes, created chaos. Valverde, tireless, defending, attacking, recovering, passing, sprinting. I swear the guy doesn't have lungs, he has a jet engine. Vinicius, meanwhile, well, he was still in Levante mode, dribbling with no real threat, but he got an assist, so there's that. Camavinga stayed mostly back, focused on defense, but every time he did push forward, boom, a chance. Midfield, not mind-blowing, but solid. Güler brought flow and quick thinking, helped defensively, especially covering when Valverde flew up. Started slow but warmed up fast. Bellingham, quiet first half. Tried to do both roles but didn't sparkle. Just one good run into the box that led to, well, nothing. Tchouaméni, as solid as ever. Monaco didn't have much to test him, but he kept Zone 14 safe. Asensio and Houston, decent, though there were a few heart attack moments. But no worries, Saint Thibaut Courtois was there. And most importantly, the whole team moved in sync. From pressing to transition, they looked like they knew what to do every second. No confusion, no sterile possession. And then came the second goal.
This goal was art, pure blessed football art. Camavinga with a roulette turn and backheel, Güler with the one-touch killer pass, Vinicius with the speedy run and the trivela cross, Mbappé with the tap-in. Each player added their signature move. This wasn't just a goal, it was a group performance, the best teamwork goal of the season so far. The second half started with a sad note. Asensio went down injured. Tchouaméni had to drop into center back and Ceballos came in. And boom, chaos in defense. With Tchouaméni gone from midfield, Zone 14 turned into free real estate, and Ceballos, he just couldn't cover that space. Monaco caught on fast. They started breaking through that area like it was on sale, created a few chances, and eventually scored after a mistake from Ceballos. Not shocking. If I need to gamble on a deep-lying playmaker, my money will always be on Güler, not Ceballos. But here's the twist. The midfielders suddenly woke up. Güler and Bellingham looked like they had just finished their halftime warm-up inside the tunnel and came back like they'd chugged a double espresso and gotten a pep talk from Don Alfredo, El Señor del Madridismo himself. Suddenly, transitions were faster, creativity sharper. And to all those who said Bellingham and Güler can't play together, sorry, but you're wrong, dead wrong. That myth got busted long ago, but in this match, it was confirmed loud and clear. Bellingham drove vertically, charging through the middle like a Royal Cavalryman. Güler, meanwhile, floated just behind the strikers, moving horizontally across the lines, cutting Monaco's defense to ribbons with his vision and movement. Together, they created space for others to run into, or took the shot themselves when needed. It was a symphony of vertical and horizontal destruction. Güler started painting passes like he had a paintbrush for a boot, silky, smart, and deadly. Bellingham switched the switch to full box-to-box night mode, breaking lines, arriving in the box, and nearly scoring more than once. If he'd had even a touch more luck, he'd be walking out of that match with a brace, easy. And you know what truly changed the game? Vinicius. He transformed, still dribbled, but with awareness. He lifted his head, read the movement, made better choices. This was the version of Vinny we've all dreamed of. Arbeloa's setup gave him freedom. Camavinga cut inside, leaving space for Vinny. And this time, he used that space like a maestro. He passed, he shot, he assisted. And guess what? 3 out of the 4 second-half goals came from him. First half was about the right flank. Second half, we came back to our left side power. Vinicius took control. He was the conductor of chaos, and he did it brilliantly.
So a good tactic with the right players at the right time will always bring good results. It reminded me of Alonso's early season magic. But the deeper reason, the Bernabéu spoke. The fans shouted, whistled, demanded change, and the players listened. In this match, they proved they can adapt, they can fight, they can be better. Güler and Bellingham grew into the game. Vinicius became his best version. If they keep playing with this hunger, with this clarity,
The fans will be happy. The team will fly. The king will stay on his throne. Hasta la próxima. Hala Madrid y nada más.